Greetings, creatures of the net. Not curious here to keep you curious, and today we continue the topic of Sneed's old shredder drops. So, last time we discussed the garbage part of the drops, which is basically a drop you can get out of a pile shredder. So today we are gonna discuss the not garbage, but it's bad or just not good enough drops. So, and how did I evaluate these guys? Well, the next thing after a piloted shredder comes the piloted sky golem, which drops 4 drops. And you're saying like, hey, he drops Old Murkai and Baron Rivender, so why did you put them in garbage? Well, I value cards as they go. But to make a better point, I'm gonna give you a deadline. So the best card you get out of Piloted Shredder is the Milhouse Manastorm, and it's a total of 8 stats. And the best you can get out of Piloted Sky Golem is like Pit Lord or Hungry Dragon, which is a total of 11 stats. So basically everything above 8 stats, which starts like 9 stats or higher, is considered to be, well, not garbage. Bad, but not garbage. And the reason why it starts from 9 is because, well, there is another card which is similar to Sneed's, which people don't play anymore, and that is good old Karen Bloodhoof. And as you know, Karen Bloodhoof is like, in a way, when you look on the base stat line, it's the same, but you always get like a Yeti, like the Yeti stat line, which is 9 stats. And that's why it's the starting point, because, well, even if you go to evaluating the cards, the drops out of the Piloted Sky Golem, you pretty much can realize how low Baron Rivender and Old Murkai will be. They're probably gonna be at the bottom of the list. So yeah, this is the stat line that you evaluate as not good enough. And well then, let's get to it then. So the first card, Hemet Nesingwary. So what makes him, well, stat line is 9, and you're like, well, Vol'jin is the same thing. No, Vol'jin is not the same thing. Vol'jin is a 6-2. This guy is a 6-3. Vol'jin dies to basically any card that deals at least 2 damage, like basically a 1-mana card, or AoE, or 1-mana creature. This guy dies to the same crap, but your opponent still has to ping it, so it's extra effort on your opponent, and that's why this card, the worst out of the bad cards, but still cuts the cheese to not be garbage. So, next up, a way more better card of Captain Greenskin, a 5-4, which is of course better. You have to do more effort to killing it. Yes, it deals less damage to the face, but the fact that you, like, your opponent has to have like a frost bullet ping to kill it, which is way more value for them. Yeah, but there are actually a few legis with this stat line, so let me start by comparison. So the idea is, in a case of scenario, the battle cry creatures, which are a lot of legis are battle cries, you get them to the hand and you might get the chance to play them. Of course, it's a very rare opportunity to get such a chance to like return a battle cry creature back to the hand and then play it again and get its effect done again. But these effects can still be evaluated which one of them is better. And here comes the next card, Harrison Jones, same stat line, same cost. So which one is better? Captain Greenskin, which gives your weapon +1/+1, or Harrison Jones, which can destroy an opponent's weapon and draw you cards equals to its durability. In worst case scenario, like 1 card if you can activate its effect. So there are 5 classes that use weapons, which is more than 50%. So what are the most run classes? Warrior, Hunter. In a zero situation, and you suddenly like get the chance to replay it, to give your weapon +1/+1, is it better than killing your opponent's weapon and getting a card? No. Of course you will always want the card. Card draw is really great in a zero situation. Or even any situation card draw, unless it's fatigue, it's great. So yeah, this card, that's why it's better. Next up, Black Knight, reverse stats. And like we say, it's better to have health than to have attack. And not just that, for attack is pretty relevant against a priest for multiple reasons. And yeah, of course, the comparison, which one is better, Memorod's head or Black Knight? So Black Knight, you return him to the head and you get an insane effect. Memorod, you don't get that. But then there's another thing. You take it into account, it's a mech. That's one thing. On the other hand, people play a lot of mechs, and when I have to see the chances of me getting a chance to play Black Knight again, as to me to actually get Voltron out, if I have at least some mechs, if, like Mech Mage, I play Mech Mage and I get Memorod's head, I would be probably way more happier about Memorod's head than Black Knight, even if I had a Time Rewinder in my hand. Because although destroying the taunt is great, Voltron is a winner. You win. That's all. That's why this card would always be better. Well, situationally, but still better. Next up, King Mokla 5/5. Now that's more solid stats, but there are other 5/5s. We're gonna compare it. So the next one, better, Elite Tower Chieftain. So let's see, you return either a King Mokla, which you play for 3 mana costs, which is less than the Tauren Chieftain, which is 5 mana, but considering you got it out of Shredder, the mana cost is irrelevant in a zero situation like that. And you give your opponent 2 1/1 mana cards that gives +1/+1, or in this case you both get something, or in the case of the Mukla you get nothing and your opponent gets something, which is why Tower Chieftain of course is a better card. A way better battle cry to reactivate is Lotep, which actually screws your opponent a little bit over if he top decks a spell next turn once you replayed it. And of course it's like Mukla's effect is a backdraw, to Elite Tauren Chieftains is fair, Lotep's advantage. Simple evaluation. Next up, Emperor Thaurissan. Now you're probably asking me, why would I say Emperor Thaurissan is not good? Well, like I said, I'm discussing the zero situation when both players are basically at the end of their ropes. They have 1 or 0 cards, or 2, like 3 in best case. If you have like 2 or 1 card, the effect of Emperor Thaurissan is irrelevant. Like the only relevant fact about him is stats. Sure, even maybe that 1 man reduction makes relevance. That's why the chance of its effect actually happening is better than the other ones, but in general it's irrelevant. If you're playing a control deck and you get out of Sneed, fine, it's good, we're not complaining about it. Like I say, I'm calling the shots on zero situation, in general, how I evaluate. And yeah, it's just stats are poor in comparison to other cards you can get out of the Sneed. Next up, Stalag. So you're saying, wow, it's 4 health, it dies easier than those 5/5s. Wow, it's 7, it's BGH'd. So, first off, how many BGHs even pro players these days play? 1. Why? Because the relative decks are Patron Warrior, Face Hunter. Everything else falls short afterwards, and I'm pretty certain that by the time of this, BGH has already been played. And yes, okay, fine, you might be unfortunate he has a BGH, but basically then we call a lot of big cards that just die to BGH. And why this card is better, even though it's easier to kill than 5/5s, it deals way more damage. And if your opponent like top decks in 8/8, like Ragnaros, he hits your face unfortunately. You're a mage, you can freaking smack it and you ping it down. I know this card is that from that perspective this card is better. Because it can deal more damage and deal with a big creature, which the other cards can't. And the 1 health difference, yes, it's relevant, but it's still better. Because, well, the total stat line of these 5/5s is 10, this guy is 11. Which is actually the best stat line of the cards you can get out of Piloted Sky Golem. Next up, Iron Juggernaut, 5 health, relevant, 6 damage, better than the other ones. So it's harder to remove and 6 damage is better. So of course it's better. It can be BGH, great. Opponent has to overkill it with a fireball if it's a mage. In the case of a Starlog, it just has to use the Frostbolt and ping, which is, well, I don't care, but a fireball, it makes a mage sad to use something like that. So yeah, that's why it's better. Also, let's take into account it's a mech. Some kind of relevance in that. And it's like a reverse Pit Lord or... Yes, and the next card. We don't have a legendary that has the basic Pit Lord or Hungry Grand stat lines, but we have a different format of stat line, which is still in grand total 11 stat points. And that is Fugent, the literal best, but still not good enough card you can get out of the Sneed Shredder. And why people will criticize me, like, Vol'jin, well, you never get something like a Vol'jin, like you can never get something like a Fugin out of Pilot Skygo. Well, the truth is, Hearthstone is a game that still has a future ahead of it. A really great future. At least I am hoping, I'm sure it should have. I like this game. I love this game. I love Sneed Shredder. And the thing is, I'm pretty certain that in the future there will be a 4-mana creature with 4/7 stats. It probably will have a drawback effect. Just as well as I believe there will be a 2-mana 6/2 with a pretty big drawback, but there will be. And it will drop out of the Piloted Shredder, just like this will drop out of the Piloted Sky Golem. And that's why it's the best thing. It's like things we are still dreaming for. And I believe the day that such stat lines will come out is not over the cliffs. It will come. And when that day comes, we'll all be like, woohoo, Ari Rock is in the house. So yeah, this is still not good enough, but the best out of the bad. So, if you have a different opinion, just leave in the comment section below. I promise I read comments. I mean, I want to see my channel expand and stuff like that. And for the rest of you, have a nice day. Wait after the next video if you liked it. And I'll see you guys another time. Bye bye.